Good morning. Welcome to News for Hearing Impaired. I'm Anil Thomas. With me, Rajni, this morning. First up, the headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to address a video address on the occasion of 5th anniversary of the launch of Skill India mission and on World Youth Skill Day. A digital conclave is being organized by the Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship to mark the occasion. Ashok Gehlot-led Congress government in Rajasthan continues to battle a political crisis after sacking Sachin Pilot and his loyalists. Chief Minister holds an emergency cabinet meeting. BJP calls for an immediate floor test in the assembly. India and China conclude the 4th round of military talks in Ladakh to de-escalate tensions along the LAC. The talks focused on complete disengagement from Finger 4 of Pangong Lake and Deepsang Plains. Flood situation in Assam keeps worsening further due to incessant rainfall affecting 33 lakh people. 9 more people lose lives due to floods, taking the death toll to 59. In Bihar, the flood situation remains serious as Koshi, Bagmati, Kamla Balan flow over the danger mark. Water level of Ganga steadies in Patna. Union HRD Minister Ramesh Pokhriyal Nishank releases Pragyata guidelines on digital education. Guidelines place cap on 2 online sessions each day for class 1 to 8 and 4 sessions for classes 9 to 12. The number of people recovering from COVID-19 in India is nearly twice the number of people getting infected. Health Ministry says India is a major player in vaccine development. Asks states to ramp up testing. Bihar announces a complete lockdown from 16 to 31st of July. Bengaluru goes under complete lockdown till 22nd of July. US President Donald Trump signs Hong Kong Autonomy Act ending city's preferential trade status, calls WHO puppet of China and holds China responsible for concealing the virus and unleashing it upon the world. Trump administration revokes controversial directive on international students' visa. And now for the stories in detail. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will deliver a video address to mark the World Youth Skills Day. The Skill India mission was launched 5 years ago on this day. A digital conclave is also being organized by the Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship to mark the occasion. Skill India is an initiative of the central government which was launched to empower the youth with skill sets which make them more employable and more productive in their work environment. It offers courses across several sectors which are aligned to the standards recognized by both the industry and the government under the National Skill Qualification Framework. On to Rajasthan, the Congress on Tuesday cracked down on Sachin Pilot, stripping the leader of the post of Rajasthan Deputy Chief Minister and the party's state unit president and sacking 2 loyalists from the state cabinet. Though the parties seem to have the numbers for now to hang on to power in Rajasthan, the development deepens the crisis in the Congress, which has lost 2 major states, Karnataka and Madhya Pradesh, over the last 1 year. Ministers Vishwendra Singh and Ramesh Meena were also removed from the cabinet after a meeting of the Congress Legislative Party, its second in the last 2 days. The meeting was billed as a second chance for Sachin Pilot, who had turned down appeals from the party leadership, including Rahul Gandhi and Priyanka Gandhi, to return to the fold. Pilot has been upset since the Congress picked Ashok Gehlot as the Chief Minister after 2018 Assembly polls, while his own supporters insisted he deserved credit for the party's victory as its state unit president. His next move is not immediately clear. During the run-up to Tuesday's CLP meeting, his supporters insisted he had no plans to join the Bharatiya Janata Party. He said their aim was a leadership change in Rajasthan. Gehlot accused his former deputy of playing into the hands of the BJP. Rajasthan Chief Minister also held an emergency cabinet meeting on Tuesday night in which many decisions were taken.
कांग्रेस पार्टी ने कुछ निर्णय लिए हैं जिनकी व्याख्या करने के लिए बीच में आपके में उपस्थित हूं। पहली बात, श्री सचिन पायलट जी को, श्री विश्वेंद्र सिंह जी को और मीना जी और श्री रमेश मीना जी को मंत्री पद के भार से फौरी तौर से मुक्त किया जाता है। दूसरा, हमारे बहुत तजर्बेकार और काबिल साथी गोविंद सिंह दोतासरा जी को राजस्थान प्रदेश कांग्रेस कमेटी का नया अध्यक्ष बनाया जाता है। हमारे साथी गणेश गोगरा विधायक को राजस्थान प्रांत युवा कांग्रेस का नया अध्यक्ष नियुक्त किया जाता है। हमारे एक और साथी हेम सिंह शेखावत जी को राजस्थान प्रदेश सेवा दल का नया अध्यक्ष नियुक्त किया जाता है।
In a first reaction on Twitter, a defiant Sachin Pilot said that the truth can be scuttled but not defeated. He has changed his status on the microblogging site to MLA for former minister. Reflecting the sentiment among many Congress leaders, Jitin Prasad tweeted, "Sachin Pilot is not just a colleague but my friend. No one can take away the fact that all these years he has worked with dedication for the party. Sincerely hope the situation can still be salvaged. Sad it has come to this." Rajasthan BJP has said that the Congress has lost majority in the assembly and the floor test can be done on the floor of the House. Reacting to the development in Congress, BJP senior leader Gulab Chand Kataria said that the Congress has lost the mandate and it should prove its majority.
हम तो ये आज की तारीख में मानते हैं कि यह सरकार जनता का विश्वास खो चुकी है। इसके पास बहुमत नहीं है। प्रमाणित करना चाहे तो हाउस ही प्रमाणित कर सकता है और कोई प्रमाणित करने वाली संस्था है नहीं।
BJP senior leader Gajendra Singh Shekhawat said that the Congress government has been reduced to minority in Rajasthan and the state is bearing the brunt of internal division of the party.
और आज क्योंकि सरकार जिस तरह की परिस्थिति है उस परिस्थिति के हिसाब से माइनॉरिटी की गवर्नमेंट है, अल्पमत में सरकार है और अब सरकार फिर अपनी सत्ता को बचाने के लिए, कुर्सी को बचाने के लिए किस तरह से मंत्री पदों का, विभिन्न प्रलोभनों का और उसके अतिरिक्त संसदीय सचिव बनाने के नाम पर कितनी तरह की रेवड़ियां बांटेंगी, कुर्सी अपनी बचाने में सफल होगी न होगी, ये भविष्य का सवाल है। लेकिन एक बात तय है कि इसकी कीमत यदि किसी को चुकानी पड़ेगी तो वो राजस्थान की जनता को चुकानी पड़ेगी। और मैं राजस्थान की जनता के माध्यम से, जनता की तरफ से आप लोगों के माध्यम से कहना चाहता हूं कि ये राजस्थान की राजनीति में, राजस्थान के लोकतांत्रिक इतिहास में एक काले पर जो है अक्षरों से अंकित राजस्थान के इतिहास में किया जाएगा।
Meanwhile, BJP will hold a meeting in Jaipur today over the current political situation in the state. Vasundhara Raje, the former chief minister, is also expected to attend the meeting. She is currently in Dholpur. The fourth round of military talks between India and China concluded at Chushul, Moldo border post in eastern Ladakh. It followed the last such meeting held on the 30th of June and the talks between National Security Advisor Ajit Doval and the Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi on July 5th. Tuesday's talks were seen as an attempt to start phase 2 of the disengagement along the line of actual control. The General Officer commanding of the Fire and Fury Corps, Lieutenant General Harinder Singh, welcomed his Chinese counterpart, South Xinjiang Military Province Commander Major General Lu Lin. The talks mainly focused on the implementation of agreement reached in the previous meetings, but the thrust was on complete disengagement at Finger 4 and further at Pangong and Deepsang plains. Lieutenant General Singh will brief senior army officials about the outcome of the talks. The annual flood in Bihar has again forced poor people out of their homes. Several new areas have started submerging in flood waters. Although in some good news, the water level of Ganga is now steady and is flowing 1.5 meters below the danger mark at Gandhi Ghat in Patna. The water level has, however, increased in Bagmati River due to heavy rain and water released by Nepal. The rainfall has been heavy, but the situation is under control. The Water Resources Department is monitoring the situation constantly, and the DMs have been put on high alert to meet any eventuality. IMD has predicted heavy to heavy rainfall at isolated places in Bihar till today, while thunderstorm accompanied with lightning might occur at some places across the state. Moving to Assam, where the flood situation has worsened due to the incessant rainfall in many parts of the state, resulting in the rise in the number of people affected to 32,94,127, the highest so far in the state. Barpeta district remains the worst hit with about 5 lakh affected people, followed by South Salmara and Morigaon district. As many as 3,371 villages under 92 revenue circles in 28 districts are reeling underwater, while about 1,28,000 hectares of croplands are in submerged state. As 9 more people lost their lives due to floods, the death toll due to floods has risen to 59. More than 44,000 inmates are taking shelter in 517 relief camps and centers across the state. In Kaziranga National Park, also 173 camps are inundated as 95% of its total area is submerged. NDRF, along with the State Disaster Response Force and all the other rescue teams across the state, are carrying out their gigantic task, having rescued 7,733 people, besides getting the relief materials to the needy ones. Assam Chief Minister Sarvanand Sonowal, while visiting Jonai in Dhemaji, took stock of the situation and assured all possible help and support to the affected people of the state. Results of CBSE Class 10 board exams will be declared today. More than 18 lakh students appeared in the CBSE Class 10 board exam. There are various methods by which results can be accessed. Results on net. The students can access their results through websites. Second option, results to schools. The schools will automatically get their entire school result on their official email IDs. Option number 3, results through SMS and email. Results will also be sent to the candidates through SMS and their registered mobile numbers on the registered email IDs. Option number 4, results can be obtained by sending SMS on mobile number 7738299899. Results on Umang mobile app can also be viewed. The students can view their results on Umang mobile app of the Ministry of Electronics and IT. The Union HRD Ministry has announced guidelines for online classes by schools. The ministry has recommended a cap on the screen time for students. It said that the online classes for pre-primary students should not be more than 30 minutes. The guidelines mention that 2 online sessions of up to 45 minutes each should be conducted for classes 1 to 8 and 4 sessions for classes 9 to 12. The guidelines were released by Union HRD Minister Ramesh Pokhriyal Nishank on Tuesday. He said that the guidelines provide a roadmap or pointers for carrying forward online education to enhance the quality of education in the country. Coordinated steps taken by the government along with state governments have contributed to a gradual surge in the recovery of patients in the country. The Health Ministry said that 20 states have a COVID-19 recovery rate higher than the national average of 63.02%.
मई में रिकवरी रेट लगभग 26-26.5% था। फिर मई के अंत तक वो लगभग 48% हो गया और जुलाई आने तक 12 जुलाई तक वो 63% है। ये राष्ट्रीय रिकवरी रेट है, देश का रिकवरी रेट है। लेकिन 20 राज्य ऐसे हैं आज भी जिनका रिकवरी रेट राष्ट्रीय औसत से कहीं अधिक।
Testing has been ramped up to track the suspected cases in the country. The Health Ministry said that India's total number of coronavirus cases and fatalities per million population is one of the lowest in the world.
पर मिलियन देखें, किसी भी देश की जनसंख्या में जो कुल कोरोना के केसेस हैं, कोविड-19 के केसेस हैं, वो प्रति मिलियन पॉपुलेशन कितने हैं, तो भारत में ये 657 है, 657 है। और आप देखेंगे कि हम दुनिया के उन देशों में से हैं जहां केसेस पर मिलियन सबसे कम संख्या में हैं।
The Indian Council of Medical Research said that there are 2 candidate vaccines for COVID-19 in India, and it would be the government's effort to fast track them to put a check on the pandemic.
India's perspective, we have 2 candidate vaccines which we are trying all our efforts to fast track it, and it is the moral duty that there should not be a delay by not even a day for the IRB or the regulatory clearances for these vaccines, so that we can break the transmission of the virus as soon as possible and take care of this disease, which is a global pandemic.
Amid the rising number of COVID-19 cases, the Nitish Kumar government in Bihar has decided to impose a complete lockdown in the state once again from 16 July till 31st. However, there will be no restrictions on emergency services. Trains and flight services will also continue. Moreover, public transport services, shopping malls and religious places like temples across the state will remain closed till 31st of July. However, local fruit and vegetable shops will open in the morning and evening. Earlier, lockdown had been imposed in 20 districts across the state. The number of active cases in Bihar nears the 5,000 mark. However, 12,364 patients have so far recovered. The state's recovery rate has further improved to 70.97%. A special National Investigation Agency court on Tuesday issued a non-bailable warrant against Faisal Fareed, the third accused in the Kerala gold smuggling case. The agency has sought Interpol's assistance to nab him. Faisal Fareed is in United Arab Emirates. The NIA court remanded 2 other accused, Swapna Suresh and Sandeep Nair, in judicial custody till 21st of July. The probe into the gold smuggling case started after a diplomatic bag containing 30 kilograms of gold was seized at the Thiruvananthapuram International Airport on 5th July. The cargo was addressed to the Consulate General of the UAE in Kerala. Meanwhile, an IAS officer, M. Shivashankar, who was removed from the post of Principal Secretary to Kerala Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan, was summoned by the Custom Department and questioned for hours in the case. Well, let's now take a look at global updates on COVID-19. The coronavirus has claimed the lives of over 5,76,000 people worldwide, while over 1,32 lakh cases of people having contracted the infection so far in the world have been reported. The 2 worst affected countries, United States of America and Brazil, remain the worst affected in terms of COVID-19 infections and fatalities. USA has so far recorded 34,16,000 cases and over 1,36,000 deaths, while Brazil has recorded 19,26,000 infections and 74,113 deaths. Talking of death toll worldwide, US and Brazil are followed by UK with 45,053 fatalities, further followed by Italy, Mexico and France. US President Donald Trump said that the immigration executive order his administration was planning would be merit-based. Trump administration has agreed to revoke its July 6th rule, which temporarily barred international students from staying in the United States unless they attend at least one in-person course, a federal district court judge ordered. The U-turn by the Trump administration comes following a nationwide outrage against its July 6th order and a series of lawsuits filed by a large number of educational institutions. The announcement comes as a big relief to international students, including those from India. In the 2018-2019 academic year, there were over 10 lakh international students in the United States.
Democrats did. The Democrats had their chance, and they blew it. But we're going to take care of DACA because I'm going to be doing, in the not-too-distant future, pretty soon, I'm going to be signing a new immigration action, very, very big merit-based immigration action that, based on the DACA decision, I'll be able to do.
US President Donald Trump signed into law the Hong Kong Autonomy Act on Tuesday and also signed an executive order ending US preferential treatment for Hong Kong. The Hong Kong Autonomy Act was passed unanimously by the Congress. He added that the law gives his administration powerful new tools to hold responsible the individuals in the entities involved in extinguishing Hong Kong's freedom. The president also said he signed an executive order ending US preferential treatment for Hong Kong.
I signed legislation and an executive order to hold China accountable for its oppressive actions against the people of Hong Kong. The Hong Kong Autonomy Act, which I signed this afternoon, passed unanimously through Congress. This law gives my administration powerful new tools to hold responsible the individuals and the entities involved in extinguishing Hong Kong's freedom. We've all watched what happened. Not a good situation. Today, I also signed an executive order ending U.S. preferential treatment for Hong Kong. Hong Kong will now be treated the same as mainland China. No special privileges, no special economic treatment, and no export of sensitive technologies.
US President Donald Trump has asserted that China is fully responsible for concealing the virus and unleashing it on the world. He added that the US has left the Chinese-dominated World Health Organization because he opposed the US financially contributing more than China to the UN agency. He, however, added that he was open to the possibility of rejoining when it correctly runs and not be a puppet of China.
Trade organization, and we've been, I guess, as tough as you can get on World Health. We withdrew our money. We told them we're getting out. Doesn't mean that someday we won't go back in. Maybe we will when it's correctly run, but they made a lot of bad predictions and they said a lot of bad things about what to do and how to do it, and they turned out to be wrong. And they were really a puppet of China. And make no mistake, we hold China fully responsible for concealing the virus and unleashing it upon the world. They could have stopped it. They should have stopped it. Would have been very easy to do at the source when it happened. In contrast, Joe Biden's entire career has been...
Shoppers in England will have to wear face coverings in shops and supermarkets from July 24 to help reduce the risk of a new pickup in the spread of COVID-19. British Health Minister Matt Hancock said that wearing a face covering was to protect those working in retail who faced an increased risk of being exposed to COVID-19. Britain has Europe's highest coronavirus death toll with almost 45,000 confirmed deaths. There are over 292,000 confirmed cases in the United Kingdom, while many shop owners in London reopened after almost 4 months of shutdown, while Wales, Scotland and Northern Ireland have been setting their own timetables for easing lockdown restrictions. Amid the pandemic, people are coming out with unique measures to ensure social distancing. One such adopted by a pub in southwest England is by installing an electric fence. They believe people will take much more notice if they are at risk of an electric shock. Interestingly, while he is determined to enforce social distancing to protect staff and customers, he hasn't switched the fence on. Moving to South America, in Chile, the government has begun delivery of food boxes filled with essential items such as rice and flour to thousands of families that have been hit hard by the economic effects of COVID-19 pandemic. In addition to flour and rice, the food box also includes many other necessary items. About 30 lakh food boxes will be distributed to the most vulnerable families. Chile's government imposed a quarantine on May 15th, which has been extended around Santiago until at least 17th of July due to a recent spike in COVID-19 cases. The country currently has a total of more than 3 lakh cases of COVID-19 with a death toll of more than 7,000. Moderninks experimental vaccine for COVID-19 showed it was safe and provoked immune response in all 45 health volunteers in an ongoing early stage study. US researchers reported on Tuesday that no study volunteers experienced a serious side effect, but more than half reported mild or moderate reactions such as fatigue, headache, chills, muscle aches or pain at the injection site. The team, however, added that these symptoms were more likely to occur after the second dose and in people who got the highest dose. Moderna was the first to start human testing of a vaccine for novel COVID-19 on March 16th, some 66 days after the genetic sequence of the virus was released. Union Sports Minister Kiren Rijiju met ministers as well as junior officials of the Youth Affairs and Sports Departments of 18 states and union territories on Tuesday through video conferencing. The meeting was the first part of the two-day conference where all states and union territories will share the roadmap forward for resumption of sports post-COVID-19 as well as for engaging more volunteers of the Nehru Yuva Kendra Sangathan and the National Service Scheme, that's NSS, to promote various schemes at the state level. Discussing the points included in the concise agenda, representatives of a large number of states lauded the efforts taken by the ministry to promote grassroots level sport as well as Olympic level training in all the states. The setting up of one Khelo India State's Center of Excellence in each state and following one state, one sport policy found favor with states as ministers and officials showed keen interest in adopting one sport in which the state has been traditionally strong. The representatives of the state said that setting up of 1,000 Khelo India centers in all districts across the country will help to not just tap into local talent but also create a culture of sports in the country. Several states shared their own success stories in promoting grassroots level sports. Well, that's all we have time for in this edition. Thanks for watching. Namaskar.